Welcome to Math TV with Professor V. Here's another integral of the day for everybody. And I wanted to practice trig sub since I know it's so challenging for a lot of students, especially when you have a definite integral and you have to change the limits of integration. So I wanted to get us some nice practice with these sorts of problems. So if you want to pause the video and try it on your own, go for it. I'm going to look at the denominator, and that's going to clue me in on what sort of substitution I need to make. Okay, now normally when you're learning the three cases, if you have a squared minus a variable squared, we usually say x squared, then you let x equal a sine theta. And then do you remember the other two cases? If it's x squared minus a squared, then you let x equal a secant theta. And then for addition, obviously the order doesn't matter, x squared plus a squared, you let x equal a tangent theta. All right, those are your only three options for trig sub. So look here, this is a squared, that's my constant squared. But the funky thing is there's a constant in front of x as well. So don't think of it as just x squared, think of it as the quantity 5x squared. So when we make the substitution for this problem, I'm going to let not just x, but 5x equal a, which is 3 sine theta. So take a second and marinate on that if you need to, especially if you're new to trig sub, because that step can be funky. Oops, that's not what I meant to click. I wanted the little laser pointer. Where are you, laser pointer? Right here. Okay, so this is a squared. That's always going to go in front of the trig function. And then if there's a constant, right, then that constant's square root goes in front of the variable x as well. Okay, how are we doing? Good. So now we have to figure out how to rewrite everything else in the integral in terms of theta. So from here, I'm gonna scrap this. Okay, you can go watch my trig sub videos for a review. So this means x is equal to 3/5 sine theta. I'm going to take the derivative of both sides. So dx equals 3/5 cosine theta d theta. So that's set. And then I do need to change my limits of integration. And this is different than u sub. So remember, these limits currently, 0.6 and 0, they belong to which variable? These belong to the variable of the integral. They belong to x. They're in terms of x. So when I'm trying to figure out how to write them in terms of theta, I need to plug them in right here where we make that substitution, but plug them in for x. Plug them in for x, okay? So 0.6, you guys, that's 6/10, which is 3/5. So maybe that decimal scared you, but it was done out of great kindness. So 0.6 equals 3/5 sine theta, but 0.6 is also 3/5, so that cancels out. So then I just have 1 equals sine theta. When does sine theta equal 1? Why, at pi/2. And then the other limit is 0. 0 equals 3/5 sine theta. That means sine theta is 0. When does that happen? At 0. So now we're ready to rewrite our whole integral in terms of theta, okay? I have x squared in the numerator, so x is 3/5 sine theta, and that all gets squared, over, and then in the denominator we have square root 9 minus 25, I'll scroll back up so you can see, x squared, this is x right here, 3/5 sine theta squared, 3/5 sine theta squared. And then we're not done. dx right here, what's dx equal to? 3/5 cosine theta d theta. So add that on, 3/5 cosine theta d theta, and then I have our new limits of integration. They go from 0 to pi/2. Okay, now everything's looking like a wild hot mess, wouldn't you agree? It's grossing me out. Let's clean it up pronto. So we've got integral 0 to pi/2. If I square 3/5, that becomes 9/25. I'm putting it out here so it leaves me alone. And then I have sine squared theta in the numerator. And then 3/5 cosine theta d theta. You know what? Let's take that 3/5 outside also so it leaves me alone. So let me color code where everybody's going for you. 3/5 is out here. And then that 3/5 squared became 9/25 here. And then I have cosine theta d theta right here. Okay. And then look what's happening underneath the radical. I've got 9 minus 25 times 9/25 sine squared theta, right? Good. So these cancel. Ba-dum. And then notice I can factor out a 9 from both terms under the radical, and I have 1 minus sine squared theta. So I have square root of all of that in the denominator. Okay, very good. Well, this is the time the trig sub's beauty comes into play. So square root of 9 is 3. 1 minus sine squared theta, you're going to replace with cosine squared theta. I'm not going to skip too many steps, don't you worry, okay? So right now I have 27 over 125 outside, integral 0 to pi over 2, and then I have sine squared theta, cosine theta d theta, over square root, what does this become? 9 times cosine squared theta. So this 1 minus sine squared theta, I'm replacing with cosine squared theta. Okay, fabulous. Now this 9, square root of 9, I can take it outside and it's going to become a 1/3, right? Since it's in the denominator. So I have 27 over 125 times 1/3 integral 0 to pi over 2 sine squared theta cosine theta d theta over, and then notice all I'm left with is square root of cosine squared theta, which remember is the absolute value of cosine theta, but on 0 to pi over 2 we're good. Cosine's going to be positive there, and we restrict theta accordingly. That way we don't have to worry about keeping the absolute value when we do trig sub. Okay. Whew. The end is in sight. These guys cancel out. This 3 cancels with the 27, and now I have a 9 up top. And then let's see what we're left with. It's looking better. 9 over 125, 0 to pi over 2, sine squared theta, d theta. And then from here, what do? If all you have is a sine squared or a cosine squared, and you don't have an extra trig function, like a little odd man out u sub situation, there's only one thing to do. You use your half angle identity. So you're going to replace this with 1/2 times 1 minus cosine 2 theta. Okay, so replacing sine squared, you just got to memorize that. Go into little math student robot land. Don't even think. It should be like a reflex. You see sine squared, bam, you bust out this identity. Okay, let's take the constants out. That's going to be 9 over 250. And then I'll just rewrite it one more time, and then we'll take the antiderivative. Okay? Yes. So here we go. We've got 9 over 250. Antiderivative of 1 is theta, minus antiderivative of cosine 2 theta would be a 1/2 sine 2 theta. Oop. And I'm going to evaluate this from 0 to pi over 2. Don't go back to x's, because remember, we switched our limits of integration and everything to be in terms of theta. So stay right here. So this is 9 over 250 times pi over 2 minus 1/2 times. Now this is how you evaluate this. You plug in pi over 2 for theta, then you double it. So 2 times pi over 2, that's pi. Do you know what sine of pi is? Oh, good. Yes, it's 0. Nice work. Okay. Minus, now I'm plugging in lower limit 0 here for theta. That'll be 0. Plus 1/2 sine of 2 times 0 is still 0. So everything was 0 except that pi over 2. So 9 over 250 times pi over 2 is 9 pi over 500. And that's it. Voila. How was that? Trig sub can be tricky. Once you get good at it, you can start skipping some steps, you know. But I really wanted to write this out. step by step by step for you guys, especially since probably I have new viewers who are just starting Calc 2 this semester. I didn't want to blaze through like a maniac, okay? But yes, practice this skill. If you need more help with trig sub, I got you. I have so many video lectures, integrals of the day. So subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Give this video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Some of my favorite comments to read are from George. He does a beautiful job verifying and solving all these integrals. It's so appreciated. I am off to work. I'm giving exams this week. And so far my students are doing great. So I have high hopes for how these exams turn out. All right, take care everybody. And oh, you can catch me on Instagram and TikTok, Math TV with Professor V. Bye-bye.